Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Fortunately, the dog camera isn't working tonight. Don't know why. Alright, there you go. Got the goal going. Hello, Jim Neving. Wendy Van Rokel, Sandy Shirley, Irene Seifer, Linda Howell, Vicky White, Jessica Schubach, Lisa Valenzuela, Robin, alright. Let's see. I guess I can go over here, put that back up there, put me up in the corner or something. And yeah, so there was an arrest made a couple days ago in the Emmarae, that case that we were following with that 13 or 14-year-old girl who in Long Island who was at her house, had her shoes off, and then goes outside, and then a car drove by, and she got in it or something, and then she was spotted looking around at a hotel, and then she was rescued out of a boat. Hey, look at that. Only Chevys gifted a membership to Pink IV87. Yeah. Yeah, their names were there, but it was, the screen was dark. I don't know why. Okay, so if you remember a couple days ago, we were going over this. Missing teen safe and alive after dad busted in to save her, thanks to tipsters and cops. And yes, he was 14 years old, 125 pounds, 5'5". The phone call I received was that she was on a boat in Islip, New York, and it looks like that's the boat right there, and we looked and found it on a map. Let's see, right here, I'll show you. They gave the name of the restaurant it was near, and so it's like the image is taken about like that. So see that building with the roof, and then these other, like a lower roof on there. That's right there. So it's pretty much right here. There's no street view or anything down there, but that's where it is on the map. And let's see, over the past month, Frank Gervasi, the dad, he's the guy with all the tattoos and everything, pleaded for help on social media and searched for leads into his daughter's it says appearance, but I think it meant disappearance, himself driving around Long Island. And on Thursday, the 25th, days since her disappearance, the heartbroken father recorded a video message directed at his daughter. So he was looking around, but then she was found on the 4th. And then it says, Emma Gervasi's dad says she was a victim of sex trafficking, forced to do things that a 14-year-old girl shouldn't have to do. And remember, I was saying that once we saw the yacht, it was like, man, this is like a classic sex trafficking situation. You know, it's crazy. Hey, thanks, Jim Neving. The Long Island dad who described rescuing his teen from a boat after she disappeared for a month says he believes she was sex trafficked and forced to do things that a 14-year-old girl shouldn't have to do. Frank Gervasi's daughter, Emmarae, vanished the night of December 9th after reportedly getting into a strange car outside their, but I think it was like Patchqua, something like that, or what did you guys call it? Patch hog home, and the family said it was terrified that someone had kidnapped her. Her dad and the Suffolk County cops then said Friday that she had been found on the boat in Islip. And in a Sunday Facebook video, Gervasi detailed what he thought might have happened to her. Emma was being held against her will. The bearded, tatted up dad said, adding that he read a lot of dumb comments that claimed the teen could have just left on her own. She was now allowed to leave the boat. She was not allowed to leave the boat unless she was escorted by someone, and she was being forced to do things that a 14-year-old girl shouldn't have to do. So do I believe this is sex trafficking and it's being looked into? He said the young teen is doing well. No, he said, so I do believe. He said the young teen is doing well in her recovery after her month-long nightmare, which only ended when a woman called him with an anonymous tip that ultimately led to him to the boat. Hey, thanks so much, Stacy Pittman. The phone call I received was that she was on a boat in Islip, he said, adding he was initially skeptical. The lady who gave me the tip was afraid to go in the boat. But the desperate dad said he had no such fear, busting into Emma's prison ship, moored in a marina near the Whitecap fish market to rescue his daughter. It says her daughter. Who the hell wrote this? My God. New York Post. You guys can do a little bit better than that. Unless that was somebody else. I don't know, man. Long Island missing person. That's the couple images, and that was the boat. Security camera captured her knocking on doors at Bohemian Motel the next day, but she disappeared again. Gervasi said his daughter initially went off with a man she met online, but left him and was later picked up by a random... wow. So that first vehicle that she got into was a person she met online, and so, wow, was that person setting her up or something? Because then it said, and then she was picked up by a random 65-year-old man she didn't know. Over the past month, Gervasi pleaded, I mean, what a nightmare. Pleaded for help on social media and said he searched for leads on his own, driving around Long Island in what sometimes felt like a futile search. I was starting to lose hope, he said at one point. And you can see at the top, we're trying to do that goal again, you know, with a little arrow. You guys can get your little confetti. Long Island dad reveals horror of 14-year-old daughter who vanished mysteriously for a month and was found on a boat. Let's see.
Wearing an ankle bracelet. The person that picked her up from my house, they removed the bracelet, And again, unsavory characters did what they did with her. And she was already under the influence of drugs. She started.
I can barely hear it. A Long Island dad said, this is on the 7th, so just 3 days ago. A Long Island dad said his 14-year-old daughter was plied with drugs and sex trafficked by unsavory characters during a horrific month-long ordeal that ended on a boat docked at an Islip marina. Frank Gervasi said his daughter, Emmarae, who has struggled with drug abuse in the past and wore a monitoring ankle bracelet when she went missing. Wow. So, well, what happened with that? Was abused for several weeks by several creeps, including, well, if you had a bracelet on, how come they didn't find her? Including a 65-year-old man who planned to weigh, anchor, and ship her down south before her rescue. The person who picked her up at my house, he removed the bracelet, and again, unsavory characters did what they did with her, and she was already under the influence of drugs, he told the Post. She just started wandering aimlessly after that. I don't know. The type of drugs that they're doing, they're definitely a link between the drugs and trafficking, he added. Heavy drugs that use these girls to get addicted to traffic them. Emmarae disappeared from the family Patch Hog home on December 9th when she allegedly jumped into a car with someone she met online, her father and sources said. The following day, she was seen on surveillance video footage knocking on doors in Bohemia. Police and prosecutors confirmed there was an arrest in the case, but have not released the suspect's identity. Court records show that Buckheit was arrested Friday and charged with kidnapping, assault, and endangering a child, and is being held without bail. All right, guys, you guys see that we have another goal thing set up at the top of the screen? Trying to avoid a second night, the other 2 nights, and then we had a good one yesterday, and then let's try to avoid having another one of the negatives again, all right? Thankfully, that child had been, obviously there was an incident involving a minor, and because she's a minor, I'm sort of precluded from saying a lot. Yeah, so her name was out there, and then all of a sudden it's redacted. It's sort of a silly thing that they do. It's like, in the Madeline Soto case, everybody knew it was Madeline Soto. That's what we were talking about. And then as soon as there's an arrest made, oh, her name's redacted from everything. It's like, really? We everybody knows who it is. It's not like you're hiding something. Frank Gervasi said in a Facebook post last week that he was convinced his daughter was sex trafficked after she disappeared, prompting him to identify the teen publicly and launch a search for her. Yeah, so I guess he said he can't comment. She said the father said she's doing good. Let me see what this one says. Authorities in New York have arrested a man in connection with the disappearance of a 14-year-old girl who has since been found. Emmarae Gervasi disappeared from Suffolk County, New York on December 8th. She was found on a boat in a canal in Islip on Friday, January 3rd, her father, Frank Gervasi, said in a social media post. Thank you, Richard Watts. Suffolk County Police confirmed to People that Gervasi was found last Friday, but did not confirm details of where and how she was found. A man was arrested in connection with her disappearance per Suffolk County Police. They directed further inquiries to the District Attorney's Office, who did not respond. Emmarae was last seen in Patch Hog on December 9th. I mean, that's like exactly a month ago. Suffolk County Police told People her father, Frank, previously told Pix 11 that the teenager had stepped out of her house to get something from the driveway and was taken from there. I believe that she might have left willingly to get something out of a car and maybe got pulled in at that point, he said, adding that he believes she was being held against her will. Frank spent the last few weeks desperately looking for her and offered a $15,000 reward. He received a tip on Friday from a woman who told him the child was on a boat in Islip. All right, and this is the article from today.
In Suffolk. And breaking right now, new developments tonight following the kidnapping of a 14-year-old girl in Suffolk. News 12's crime reporter Krista McNally is at the courthouse right now in central Islip with the latest. Krista, what can you tell us?
Good evening, Joe. That's right. We just stepped out of that courtroom, and what I can tell you is a grand jury indictment has been handed down against Francis Buckheit. The 64-year-old is being accused of abducting a girl and restraining her on his boat named Phoenix. His lawyer confirmed today he in fact was staying on that boat that was docked outside of Whitecap Fish Market and later impounded by police. Also new today, we are learning from court paperwork that the day Buckheit was arrested, when he was driving into Whitecap Fish Marina, at that time, he allegedly had slurred, mumbled speech and bloodshot eyes. And when given a breathalyzer, he had a .12 blood alcohol content, according to the paperwork. When he was arrested on January 3rd, he was charged with DUI, kidnapping, and endangering the welfare of a child.
That's crazy. So he pleaded not guilty to the charges he is facing. His attorney, Danielle Papa, said he is emotional, he's upset, maintains his innocence. Oh yeah, let's see that part at the end.
Connection to the 14-year-old.
His innocence. These are very serious
Wow, it sounds like Richard Allen.
charges. There's a lot more to the story than what's being reported.
Oh, now it sounds like Stephen Stearns. Oh, there's a lot more to the story that's being reported. It's her fault, right? Like he's the one, she's the one that hit on him. So, I mean, what else would there be to the story? Why does he have her on his boat? Can you get a good explanation for that?
No, I cannot at this time.
Again, Buckheit is facing a slew of charges at this time, including those mentioned and other charges pertaining to the missing 14-year-old girl from Patchogue. The specific charges in the grand jury indictment are not available at this time.
Yeah. All right, let's see what's next. Yeah, look at on Ben Verified. I mean, look at this. He has these boats. They're totally different. Different years and everything. Bamba, unknown. Maybe they could, and that's Owen. So an Owen boat, unknown boat, and a different one. But obviously that's the right guy. And just looking back in time, I mean, this is weird because I went on to newspapers.com, and I'm almost absolutely positive that right here, like these different. Well, let's do this one first. So you got in 1951, Mr. and Mrs. Francis Buckheit of East Islip, same damn little town, had a son on February 6th. Right, and that's 1951. So I think that makes him 64, right? 51, 52, yeah, 64, and then in February he'll be 65. So that's their kid right there. And then a little bit later, when he's 12 years old, I think that's him right here because this is also in New York, and it's like swimming, like he got some swimming badge or some shit like that. It's just weird, when you see that they're actually, just random names in the paper, but it's definitely him given the years. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then this is I found this interesting. I think Zozo got. I mean, it's just you just type in his name on Facebook and he shows up. So this is Francis Buckheit. I don't know if that's him, you know. That could be some fake profile catfishing image. Hey, thanks Monica Reeves and Michelle Wood. All right. Chris Watts, Stacy Pittman. You know, you guys should type messages in these so I can read something or discuss it. I mean, that's kind of what super chats are for, you know. And a patch hog. It's ice lip. Okay. I'm shocked at how many people watch a man with narcissistic personality disorder and Asperger's. Well, if I have Asperger's, why are you making fun of me, man? I mean, I can't help it, dude. What's going on? I've got Asperger's. How dare you make fun of somebody with a mental disorder of some sort? Gosh, that's so rude. What a loser. Let's see. Would he be 74? Oh, I guess I did the math wrong. I guess you're right on that, Blaze. How could there be a 74-year-old? I mean, the same exact name. That's such a random name. Francis Buckheit. I guess you're right at that. I was thinking, mathematically, that doesn't make sense. You're right. So forget those two little random things. I was just looking for him in there. Yeah, and by the way, you guys, you don't have to watch me. You know, if you think I'm exactly that, then you don't have to watch. I really don't give a shit, to be honest with you. I'm to a point where it's like, you know, every single day, the same trolls. They make videos about me. They make posts about me. Their whole effort is to try to, you know, make me look bad as much as they can all the time because they got their feelings hurt one time. I mean, what losers. Give me a break. Perhaps you can locate Mary Lou. She will agree to sing happy birthday wishes to me. Oh, let's see if I can find Mary Lou over there. Mary Lou, you there?
Yeah, Graham here.
Oh my God, you sound bored to death. Well, it's Wendy Van Rokel's birthday. Okay, you got to sing happy birthday.
Oh, it's Wendy's birthday? Okay, here we go. Happy birthday to Wendy Van Rokel. Happy birthday to Wendy Van Rokel. Happy birthday, dear Wendy Van Rokel. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Hey, John Boy, I haven't heard you in a long time.
Nobody wants to hear from me anymore because I have Asperger's and I'm a narcissist.
Yeah, that's going around. That's going around.
Yeah, wow. Happy birthday. All right. Anyways, check this out, though. I don't know if this is him on this picture, but look at... it feels like it's him. You know why? Because look at the friends this guy's got. And this is September 14th, 2024, so just a few months ago. And look at these things. They're all like, you know, these sex people. You know, maybe a couple that aren't, but look at this. Look at this. Like these ones and all of them. So I would bet you money that that's who this is. And some of them are, look at Emma Watson, private live chat. They're all like, you know, I don't know, sex workers or whatever the hell you want to call them. Pretty crazy, right? I think that that's him. But yeah, good catch up there on the... I don't know why my brain didn't catch up on the Blaze on the on the actual math there on the years. it just sort of made sense. I mean, wow, 74 exactly. I wonder, well, when's this guy's birthday? Hold on a second. Because even when you go to Ben Verified, there isn't another one, you know? That just seems too coincidental. Okay, but he's born in May of 1960, so that's not the same person. I don't know what the X is. His name is Francis X. Buckheit. And he has a house, or a house associated with him right there. I mean, look at that. That's crazy, right? I wonder if the boat's in the yard. Well, I don't know if that's too big to have a boat in the yard. Yeah, so that's the house. I don't know if it's a trailer. It looks like a vehicle back there. That might be his driveway, though. Well, that's a different... Is that a second driveway? It's kind of weird because it looks like it... Let me see. Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like he has two driveways. But that's got to be part of that house, too. So these are 2008. And the other one's only 2012, so this doesn't get a lot of coverage over here. That's 2012. That's the last one that's available. Isn't it interesting, too, how there's trees all around his house? Just really grown in, like you can't really dense. Other people seem to clear it out. His is worse than it looks up there. I feel like these other people, it's sort of cleaned up a little bit, right? You got a house and then sort of open there. But then you go to his and it's just kind of grown over and, you know, shit, there's stuff right around the house. Two different sides of it with two different ways out. There's a driveway there and a driveway over here. Yeah, it's weird. But man, that's just takes that story to a whole different level, doesn't it? With a guy that's like 64 years old on a boat. As soon as I saw the boat and she was found on that boat, I was like, this is like a classic sex trafficking situation. But what's weird is the story sounds like somebody else drove by, somebody she met online, and she got in that car and then somehow got out and started wandering around, and then some random... I don't believe that. I think that she may have gotten out and walked around, but the other person was absolutely aware of where she was, and, you know, then they moved forward with whatever was going to go on later. And they got the 64-year-old got her on the boat, and then maybe was going to take her somewhere else. It's wild. I mean, she's really lucky to have a dad like him, who was just relentlessly getting information and literally broke in the door himself. Let's see, finally getting better. I talked to Lisa Wilkerson today. She's sounds like she's on a pretty good path. She came in here. She obviously had cancer and was doing chemo and stuff, but it was just struggling. And then she had surgery to them to go. They went in and removed all of it, and then any visible sign of it. And then now she's got to do chemo for 3 more rounds, and just to try to get it all. But it sounds like that's I mean, it's not fun doing that, but it's better than where she was. So maybe one of these days we'll see her in here again. Okay, and then by the way, look at we got this from Texas EquuSearch. You know, it says thank you. Look at 2024 donations, $5,500, and that's because of all you guys and the ad revenue, etc., that we gave Texas EquuSearch $5,500. So, you know, again, the only way to do that is if you guys are helping the channel, and if you guys could please try to reach the goals tonight and everything, just kind of keep things going. That's how we're going to be able to keep doing this year too. I'm sure there'll be times where the cases are bigger, and I just don't know at this point. You know, I don't know how to generate. I just, you kind of have to stick with the same case over and over and over again for you to, you know, or in the same realm, and I'm having a hard time doing that. And then like today, I put out a video on these Madeline Soto case, and it got 800 views. I mean, that's ridiculous. Okay, I used to get 25,000 on a Madeline Soto video. Okay. Hey, thanks, Cheryl Bullock. All right, so here you go. Tammy Phillips from Texas EquuSearch 2024. Thanks, Sandy Shirley and Cheryl Bullock. Said, thank you is not enough for all of the support you have shown to our organization, both financially and through your podcast. Because of generous donors like yourself, we continue to assist families in searching for their missing loved ones and assist law enforcement agencies upon request. We've given them, like, I would say almost $25,000 over the years. Our staff and volunteers diligently work towards meeting the challenges of the growing number of requests for our help. And you know what that is right there? That $5,500 right there is probably $5,000 more than all of the entire true crime community combined gave to Texas EquuSearch. All right, let's just say it how it is. Our mission will continue to thrive as our team looks to be innovative and faithful stewards of your giving. With many thanks, Tim Miller and the Texas EquuSearch team. There you go. Boom. So, you guys are awesome. Thank you, Vicky White. Very cool. Okay. What was the other thing here? Oh, yeah. So, I don't have any more to offer on this case. I looked into him as much as I could. I even used the site that I have. You put his emails in there. One of them was sort of interesting. Just putting his name in had, you know, he had a Dropbox account and various other things. You know, like TikTok. You know, how many people that age have a TikTok? You know, TikTok, unless you're running for politics. And then the other, it was both an Instagram. He had Instagram and TikTok and a Dropbox account. Boy, that doesn't set off any red flags for a 64-year-old. That's not fair, Gray. Maybe he's just more tech-savvy guy. Well, to me, it's a little unusual. Let's be honest. There's there's, I guess in our world, like, we have to be kind of in on all those different things. I don't know. I think they were searching for her, but how come they didn't just immediately move on the fact, because she had a ankle monitor. I mean, hello. And it was removed pretty quickly. I mean, how did they do that, by the way? And don't you guys find it interesting that there was the first kid that she met online, and then that person removed her ankle monitor, and then somehow she's just wandering around, and then some other guy. That's not happening. Okay, that's too coincidental. Like, I think that was all part of something. The first group was to remove it, and then for whatever reason she was walking around, but they captured her again. You know what I'm saying? All right, so if you guys, the goal we have up there, we're at 4 out of 20. So if you do $5, I think it goes towards that goal up there. We need 16 more of them. And that still won't put us at a nightly goal, but it'll reach that goal that's right there. Were the police not really? I don't know if they were searching. What do you mean it's already expired? Oh, I guess it was. Okay. How does that? Oh, it was only set for 30 minutes. That sucked. Okay, I'll do another one. Let's see. Let me see. How do I do this? So I guess I have to do another one for 15. And then set that one for, I guess 2 hours, I guess. All right, there you go. All right, so we already had 4 on there, so. The monster is a... I don't know if it really would matter that people knew that. Lisa or Jessica. Or, no, it was Lisa. So sex tracker means... Sex trafficker, you mean. And we have no coffees tonight, either. So thank you to Danita on PayPal, and also to Miss Angels, currently at 0 on Buy Me a Coffees. Come on, you guys, right there at the top of the screen. I mean, this channel, I actively try to bring in super chats. Now, the trolls on social media go, oh, he's begging. No, I'm just trying to bring the freaking funds into the channel to support the channel and allow us to keep doing it. We've given $228,500 out of the income. Yes, I make an income too, but that's kind of like the whole goal of what, I mean, the main thing that our channel does is to support those various things, and I'd like to continue to be able to do that. And I need your guys' help to do that. Now, if you you can't, then you can't. But if you can, I would appreciate it. Huh? What's that? Why'd that open up? Does it not go off? Well, I think you track it. Amy E. Carazos, Public Defender of Indiana, acknowledges receipt of certification that the above... This is Richard Allen's appellate attorney information. Frank Meister sent this to me. Certification that the above captioned court has been unable to provide local counsel to represent the indigent defendant in the above captioned cause for the purpose of perfecting a direct appeal and pursuant to the acts of 1971, Public Law 438, IC 1971, blah, 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 accepts appointment to represent Richard M. Allen. I hereby appoint Stacy R. Juliana, P.O. Box 7445 North Baldwin Street. Baldwin. Bargersville, Indiana, 46106. Anyways, it's, let's see. And Mark Lehman, attorney competent in the practice of criminal law, subject to the concurring appointment of record by the Honorable Francis C. Gold. The minimum fee for services of any attorney appointed by the state public defender and judge under a request made to the state public defender may not be less than the state public defender schedule of minimum attorney fees. So I guess tonight we need somebody in the chat that's like, hey, let's go everybody, like last night. Because it doesn't seem like it matters what I say anymore. Like, hey everybody, if you could please help support the channel, it's just crickets. So if you guys have the ability to, that would be great. I don't know how to force anything to, I can't like click my fingers and stuff just starts coming in. I would do it on every show, but it doesn't work. Alright, so we got that one, and then what was this other thing that came out? I hereby certify that I have this 8th day of January served upon Nicholas McClellan, prosecuting attorney, Andrew Baldwin, and Bradley Rosie, defense attorney, a copy of the above and foregoing acceptance of appointment and formal notice of appointment of outside counsel by electronic service through the Indiana e-filing system. That's Amy E. Corzos. I guess one of these people worked with Richard Allen's defense attorney. You know? I don't know, man. It's wild. Yeah, so I watched Brad Rosie for a while on today's, and it just was kind of boring. Snooze fest. It's all the cool, too cool for kids stuff going on in the background. I've never seen anything like it, where these attorneys who are trying to free a child killer are heroes. Have you guys ever seen anything like that in your life? Yeah. It's stupid. Okay. Sandy Shirley said, let's do this, freaks. Let's see what tonight prize is. Didn't have an effect. It's okay, though. Thank you. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. It's unbelievable. It's embarrassing as hell. Just stupid. I don't know what other word to call these people other than stupid. That's it. These people that are crying over Richard Allen. Oh God, he's so great. You guys are whack in the head. Okay. I wonder if they had seen the same interrogation videos. Because here's the thing: is everybody that went into the case either neutral or pro-prosecution said that those interrogation videos, the voice, just his answers and the way he was, absolutely convinced them that Richard Allen is the guy. But then you got these other people who, they believe he's not guilty the whole time, and they have tunnel vision, and they have the inability to, when they see something that contradicts what they believe, they can't change their mind. And then they go do their shows, these YouTubers, and they convince the thousands of people that watch the garbage that they put out, and they sit there and they believe it. They believe the way they describe it. Oh, you should have seen it, man. He did. And so it's just really, disheartening. It just shows you that it's like an uphill battle out there. Yeah, no, I'm just saying it sucks because, here's the thing. The truth is if everybody saw the case the way it really is, where Richard Allen's guilty, I'd probably have a lot better, more viewers because people, but it's not popular. You get it? It's a really frustrating thing. I've been working on the Delphi case for 7 years, and at the very end, even though we got it all right, the people getting views and all the, like, you know, interest are the whack nut jobs who sit there, keep trying to pretend that Richard Allen didn't do it. And here's the truth. If there's a retrial and somehow he's found not guilty or hung jury or not guilty, there will never be another investigation in the case. They will never look for anybody else, because Richard Allen is the only person that answered every single one of their questions. In fact, he's the only person who answered any of the questions that they had and evidence that they had from the investigation. He's the only person who answered any of that. Hey, thanks, Chris22. Hey, it didn't seem like it affected the target up there. Did I not set it right again? I thought I did. Yeah. Should have set one up there. So, I mean, how do these people sleep at night? Every time you watch them speak, not one of these attorneys that have gone on these shows has ever sat there and explained how each one of those answers that Richard Allen answered are something else, because they can't do it. And they know, I guarantee you, that Rosie, Baldwin, they both know that Richard Allen is the killer. They just see an opening that they might be able to get him off. And they went for it. That's it. There's no way in hell you could sit there and go, well, I just don't believe all those confessions. I think it was because the treatment in the jail, it's just stupid. You know? I mean, he was, everybody says that when he does the confessions, even the ones prior to him being deemed insane, that he literally was just calm and was like, I did it. You know? I just want you to know that I did it. Will you still love me? But you didn't do it. I did. Like, he was really, like, adamant. He tried to confess to unburden his soul. He became religious. He tried to unburden his soul. And he thought that was the right thing to do, but his attorneys and his wife wouldn't have it. We think we can get you off, man. Okay, but now here's what we're going to do. We got to make it seem like you're crazy now. Start eating paper and stuff, and then we'll make it seem like the treatment in the jail here is what caused you to confess all those times. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'll do this one. I don't know why your Chris, your super chat didn't affect the. I wonder if it asked. I don't know. I don't know why it wouldn't. In their first televised interview since their client was sentenced for the murder of 2 girls outside of Delphi in 2017, Richard Allen's attorneys told Fox 59 they are more convinced than ever their client's innocence. You're fools, okay? During the interview, the attorneys refused to push back on Special Judge Fran Gould's oversight of the case and the trial for fear of incurring her wrath or jeopardizing the appeal of Allen's conviction. Allen was found guilty by a jury, bussed in from Fort Wayne to hear his case, the Carroll County. Yeah, see, why did that one work? Okay, well, we'll say that there's 2 up there, Chris. I don't know what happened to yours. Thanks, Michael. Allen was found guilty by a jury bussed in from Fort Wayne to hear his case in Central County Courthouse. You know what's weird, you guys? I think Richard Allen would have had a hung jury if the jury was in Delphi. Okay? Because I think a lot of the kind of, I don't know, the conspiracy people live right around there. So I think it would be more likely. Instead, they brought in a group from a completely different county because they complained. And it turns out that that's how they, those people used rational thought. What do you mean? Why weren't the police not knocking on Richard Allen's door since game? I don't get it. I don't get it. Not have such sea of man, you're gonna have to retype that whole thing again, Wendy. I don't even know what you wrote. No idea. Yeah, I thought maybe there'd be a hung jury, but there wasn't even that. Hey, good night, Richard Watts. Let's see. On December 20th, he was sentenced to 130 years in prison. Okay, during the interview, the attorneys refused to push back on special judge. Allen was found guilty by a jury bussed in from Fort Wayne. On December 20th, he was sentenced to 130 years in prison for the killing of Libby German and Abby Williams. Defense attorney Andrew Baldwin was asked why it took jurors 19 and a half hours over the course of 4 days to find his client guilty. Was that a long time? I have no idea, said Baldwin. Normally, by now, somebody would have come out and at least explained some of the process that happened in the jury room. Ooh, so now it's a conspiracy in the jury room. Oh, wow. I guess normally somebody would have said something. In their absolute right to not say anything, and I respect that, we as lawyers would like to know what they hung their hat on, especially since we are hopeful that there's going to be a second trial. Allen's attorneys said they have identified some new evidence or interpretation of testimony that could be the basis of an appeal. We'll be filing, I think, a motion to correct errors to clean up the record on some things, said Jennifer Auger, I guess is her name. Once that's done, the judge can either not rule on it, and it is deemed denied in a certain period of time. I don't know what that means. The judge can either rule on it, and it is deemed denied in a certain period of time. She can deny it without a hearing. She can set it for a hearing. Once that's completed, when we have a notice of appeal to file. Baldwin and Auger were careful to avoid answering any questions about Gold's handling of the case, denial of defense motions, and objections, her failed attempt to remove the defense team, and whether she narrowed the scope of the trial to such a degree that the jury was left with only one verdict option. Well, that's because your Odinist stuff was complete crap, and you know it, because there's no nexus to the crime. You just thought it was an interesting, because those 3 detectives kept looking into it, but they even admit that they couldn't find a connection to the crime. Anyways, you guys, we're currently at 1/4 of the goal again. So even after we had our conversation last night, we're at a struggling nexus again. I don't get it. Hey, Dana Dane, how's it going? I think I just sent you an email. I was like, hey, I haven't seen Dana Dane. She's one of the artists. Yeah, I did some of the images that I got. The defense team said they were hampered by Gold's refusal to admit speculation about third-party suspects who Baldwin and Auger contend could have committed the killings as a result of an Odinism ritual, but they couldn't have because they weren't there. Oh, here it is. Gold said there was no nexus of evidence linking unknown third persons to the case. That came from the U.S. Marshals Behavioral Analysis Unit, said Auger. That came from the FBI. There is some, let's see. Right, well, that's what they thought, but there was no connection to any of the people that were you deemed to be Odinists to the crime. So even if the FBI thought that those looked like sticks and so forth that were put there by Odinists, then, they couldn't prove it, that they were connected. Hey, thanks, Doc, for the buy me a coffee. I gotta buy me a coffee. I got a coffee. Gold said there was no nexus of evidence linking. That came from, and then they said that came from the U.S. Marshal Behavioral Analysis Unit, said OJ. Yeah, that's just stupid. It's like, imagine you have a profiler, you have a case and you have a profiler, right? And the profiler kind of, going through and looking at what happened, they come forward and say, well, we're probably looking for somebody that's white, between 35 and 45, and all this kind of thing. And so that's kind of what the behavior analysis unit was. They say, hey, maybe these are Odinists. Somebody in a cult of some sort. And then all of a sudden that's supposed to mean that therefore the killer is in a cult. It's ridiculous. Okay. There is some validation from Purdue professor. This all came from the state. No, there's no it's just you have these sticks placed on a body. Richard Allen is the killer. He is bridge guy. He is the guy. Yeah, I only watched like 10 minutes of it. Did Richard Allen talk himself into this conviction? The attorneys were asked. Allen made dozens of self-incriminating statements after being advised of his Miranda rights by investigators and during recorded phone calls to his family from prison and in conversations with Indiana Department of Correction employees and contract mental health specialists. You mean after he was taken to Westville Correctional Facility in solitary confinement without a hearing? Baldwin asked. He said. You mean after he was taken to Westville without a hearing? Baldwin asked. After he was taken to Westville without an attorney? After he was taken to Westville? So he's probably the one that said one single solitary man. He had even admitted he wrote that. If he wrote the one single solitary man portion of that Frank's memorandum, then Baldwin is an idiot. Okay, because that was one of the stupidest, dumb, like a 4-year-old child could have written that, and it would have been better. It was so dumb. 80-something lines of how difficult it would be. It's an embarrassment. And for anybody to go, ooh, it was so great, that means you're just as dumb, unfortunately. It's one of the dumbest, that portion was ludicrous, you guys. Ludicrous. The rest of it, sure, you use stuff from different documents and whatnot. But that segment alone is what really, it almost kind of invalidated the entire document because it was so childishly formulated. So if you want to take responsibility for writing that portion, then you go right ahead. It was awful. Now they can't. They can't destroy the timeline. But why does that stuff show up on your feed, but my channel doesn't? How does that happen? All right, so we'll try it again, you guys. So currently we are at we're just still at a quarter of the nightly goal. So if you guys are out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, I would appreciate it. That's the only way to keep on doing what we're doing. This month we're already at a pace that's last month was half of the month before, and this month is at 70% of last month. So it's just like this absolute like a cliff. Let's see. Baldwin and Auger maintain that Allen returned to Westville to begin serving his prison sentence while his appeal process begins has put his well-being in jeopardy. Look how stupid that is. God. Oh my God. Look at this. Right here. Baldwin and Auger maintain that Allen's return to Westville to begin serving his prison sentence while his, put him in jeopardy. Well, that's why they put him there in solitary, making sure that he was protected. But now he's not like one of those people. He's a convicted killer, and he's in like general population. I would think. Maybe not until his appeal. I don't know. I don't know why they consistently treat Richard Allen differently than any other person charged with or convicted of a crime in the state, said Auger. Westville wasn't able to keep him safe when he was there the first time. Well, they did. They did keep him safe. By their own doing, they made him unsafe. By their failure to properly diagnose, their failure to properly treat. Look at it. This is him. One single solitary man. Their failure to properly diagnose. Their failure to properly treat. Their failure to keep him safe under his conditions of confinement. They put him in danger in his mental health. Now he's being guarded by the very people we cross-examine in court. That's a problem. No, it actually makes him safer because it puts him under scrutiny. You're incorrect. Yet again. Baldwin said Gold's ruling limited his ability to explore questions about whether Libby and Abby were on the Monenhigh Bridge the day of their abduction to meet someone called Anthony Schatz, with whom they had been communicating on social media. Yeah, well, I mean, I'd like to actually hear those answers, The attorney said he also couldn't grill Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter when he was on the stand about dissimilar ISP artist sketches. Right, because nobody uses sketches at trials, okay? ISP artist sketches of potential suspects on the trail that day, and investigators' theory that more than one killer was involved in the murder. Yeah, early on they had that, yeah. The evidence, in my opinion, is very strong that there were multiple people involved. I think there is zero evidence of that there was multiple people involved. In fact, I think the evidence shows that it's just one person. Look at, you got these clowns out there that keep trying to tell anybody that'll listen that it was so complicated, so much stuff going on, and a gun solves all the problems. Force them down the hill, force them to take their clothes off, force them to put their clothes back on. The only thing that he had to do physically was drag Libby a distance, like, 20 feet or so, after she was dead. Okay? That's it. There is no other, complications, etc. He made them undress at gunpoint. Isn't there anybody out there that has common sense on the other side? I'm just asking a question for a friend. I just don't get it. The evidence, in my opinion, is very strong that there were multiple people involved, said Baldwin. Because the crime scene does not lend itself to one person. No, it does. It does. 5'5" Richard Allen is who they're claiming. Yeah, here we go. The crime scene does not lend itself to one person in the middle of the afternoon on a sunny day doing everything. Well, so you think a whole band of people out there on a sunny day? You don't think one of them would have been seen, maybe? How come there wasn't a pack of wild Odinists seen leaving the area? You ever ask yourself that question? All right, we got 1 out of 15 up there on the goal, you guys. Remember last night's conversation? Any chance we could get that moving along? While this was the first time the defense team, unburdened by the expired gag order, chose to sit for an extended television interview after the trial, immediately following sentencing last month. Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McCullion, Sheriff Tony Liggett, and the family of Libby German took to a podium to meet reporters, express their satisfaction with the jury verdict, and blast Allen's attorney for their defense of the accused. Now, they blasted you for your tactics, your blatant disregard for just sort of like ethics. I mean, you admitted, Baldwin, on your show the other day that you intentionally put the Frank's memorandum out there to subvert the gag order. You admitted it. I would like to address for a moment the statement made by, I believe, Doug Carter at the press conference on December 20th, where he said justice has been done, recounted Auger. And if you don't like justice in the country, then leave. I have a moral, ethical, real problem with that. Richard Allen has the right to an appeal, and it was very disturbing throughout the sentencing, throughout the victim impact statements at the press conference. These pleas to him, not the appeal. I don't know what that means. If you have a secured conviction, if you have a righteous conviction, you don't need to do that. He has a constitutional right to appeal his conviction and to tell people to not question. That is dangerous. And if you don't like justice in this country, then leave. No, they didn't say to not question it. He said if you don't like justice in this country. The interview was Baldwin and Auger, took place in the conference room of the Franklin Law Office, where a former associate, Mitch Westerman, admitted surreptitiously photographing sensitive trial evidence. That's not what actually happened. And then disseminating the information to social media. Now, they intentionally wanted to, my theory is that they intentionally wanted Mitch Westerman to take photographs. And we know this because Mitch Westerman had the Frank's memorandum with all the attached images, and those images are the same ones that they claim he took pictures of in the office, when he easily could have just taken pictures at his house and then uploaded them to whoever he wanted to give them to. And the reason they're claiming he did that was that he went to the office to do that without them knowing, is he's the firewall to protect Rosie and Baldwin. That's what makes more sense than that a friend of theirs, a trusted friend, goes into an office and takes photographs of images sitting around on a table. Does that make sense to anybody? Would anybody ever do that, especially like a legal, he worked in their office for a while. Would you really go in there and start taking pictures because he wanted to convince somebody of something? Now, give me a break. The interview with Baldwin and Auger took place in the conference room. Right. One of the posters took his own life after being questioned by police, and Carter put the blame for the death of the defense team. I was really troubled by the theme on December 20th of the defense counseling, of the counsel being unethical, said Auger. The Brad, Rosie, and Andrew had something to do with that man's death, and this by our top Indiana law enforcement. And if people believe this, you now place targets on our backs. No, but you did. I mean, you allowing the actions that happened in your office led to the death of somebody. It was a real dramatic mistake, a life-altering mistake for Mitch, who was actually, I have forgiven. He said that on the podcast. All right, guys, is there any chance we could try to reach that goal in the upper left? You see what I mean? I'm trying to get it going, and it's just nothing. Man, it's going to be a crazy month, I can tell you that. At the post-sentencing press conference, investigators said the conviction of Richard Allen for the murders of the girls meant justice had been served. Auger is not sure. Yeah, that's what I said when I was on Court TV. I said, justice. There's no justice for Abby Williams and Liberty German if you convict the wrong... Well, it's not the wrong person, she said. All that does is double the tragedy, double the injustice. Now, well, it's not the wrong person, though. You know, that's the thing, is I don't know how your brains are working. If Richard Allen is not guilty, there are still killers out there. That's not justice. Well, he is guilty. That's what the jury found, you remember? Putting Richard Allen in a torturous conditions isn't justice. I think it's not justice even if he did it. Okay, but if he did it, and that's not justice, he still should be in prison for the killing, right? Or you think he should be freed because he wasn't treated very well in prison? Right. So I guess you can watch it here, but... Alright, you guys. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for, let's see, Only Chevy's gifted a channel membership. We got Jim Nething, Stacy Pittman, Richard Watts, Monica Rees, Michelle Wood, Wendy Van Rokel, Sandy Shirley, Cheryl Bullock, Vicky White, Linda Howe, Chris22, and Michael Kishel. All right, and then we had One Coffee, Doc Ketchmark. All right, thanks, everybody. See you guys later. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, ya, just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.